Hello students. So today again we have got geography lecture. We are doing lesson number 4, structure of the ocean floor, and it's on your page number 24. So students, let us revise what we studied yesterday. We studied structure of ocean floor and we seen these various landforms. So look at this figure, we have seen various landforms. Again, we will revise these various landforms. First, what you have got over here, this is your mountain, this is your plateau, this is your coast, sea coast or something, this is your coast, this is a sea level. Then here we have got continental shelf. So today we are going to study about continental shelf. Okay, continental shelf. Then we are going to study about continental slope. This part is called your submarine plateau. This part is called your island, and this is called your marine drive. So all these various landforms we had revised. Now we have seen what is a ocean flow. Okay, see here the figure is given to you. This is your ocean flow. Here we have got continent, we have got coast, we have got continental shelf, continental slope. So all what is this? This is your continental. All this thing we have seen, and this is called your ocean flow. So today we are going to study ocean flow in detail. So students, in your textbook, come to page number 25. So what we are going to study today, we are going to study continental shelf. Now where is a continental shelf here? This part is called your continental shelf, which is slightly under water. Now see here, continental shelf. The land near the coast. Okay, so here this is the land which is near, this is your coast, and this is the land which is close to the coast. So the land near the coast and submerged under the sea is called continental shelf. So what is continental shelf? The land which is near the coast and submerged under the sea. So it is under the sea is called your continental shelf. This is the shallowest part of the ocean bed. Shallow means you can see there is no much water. There is no much. It's although under the water, but not much under the water. It is also called submerged coast land. So it is also called what? It is also called your submerged coast land. Its slope is gentle. See here, the slope is very gentle. It's not a very deep slope. So the slope is very gentle. The extent of the continental shelf is not uniform everywhere. So it is not same everywhere. It is narrow along the coast of some continents while it is broad for hundreds of kilometers at others. So somewhere it is narrow, somewhere it is broader. Its depth is up to 200 meters below the sea level. So the depth is how much? The depth is only 200 centimeter below the sea level. Sorry, it is 200 meters below the sea level, not centimeter, it's meters. The continental shelf is very important from the point of view of humans. Now, why this shelf is important for human beings? Extensive fishing grounds are found in the continental shelf. Now, what do you mean by extensive fishing ground? You can find many fishes close to continental shelf. As this part is shallow, the sunlight reaches its base. So it's shallow part. So sunlight can easily pass through this. And because of sunlight, here little things can grow over there, that is algae, plankton, etc. And this algae and plankton are eaten by the fish. So to eat this, the fishes come in that particular part. Grow here. This is the food of fish. Now, what is the food of fish? This algae and plankton are the food for fish. Natural gas, mineral oil, and various minerals can be obtained by mining the continental shelf. You know what you mean by mining? Big machines are there which are put under the sea to take some natural gas or mineral oil. For example, Mumbai High, located on the continental shelf of the Arabian Sea, it is a source from where we obtain mineral oil and natural gas. Now we'll see the second part is called your continental slope. Now where is the continental slope? See, this part is called your continental slope, which is very deep. Now let us see what is the importance of continental slope. After the extent of continental shelf is over, the slope of the seabed becomes steeper. Becomes steeper means what? The slope is deep. This is called continental slope. The depth of the slope is from 200 meters to 3600 meters. In some place it is more. So what is the depth of this continental slope? It is 200 meters to 3600 meters. The lower boundary of continental slope is considered to be the boundary of continent. So this continental slope is considered to be the boundary of the continent. Now next thing, what we have got the abyssal plains. Now is abyssal plains here. This part is called your abyssal plain. Now let us see what is the importance of abyssal plain. Now beyond the continental slope lie the abyssal plain, which are the flat part of the seabed. So you can see this is a flat part of the seabed. This abyssal plain is a bed of flat part of a seabed. The abyssal plain consists of various submerged landforms like hills, plateau, etc. So here, what you can see over here, you can see all submerged part, that is your hills, mountains, you can see in this abyssal plain. Okay. Now, come to your mountain ranges and plateaus. Now, what do you mean by mountain ranges and plateaus? Plateaus, you know, plateau is a large area of a flat land. And what are mountain ranges? Okay, a mountain range is a group of mountains located close together. That is called mountain ranges. You might be seeing mountain ranges. So, what is a mountain range? Is a group of mountains located close together. Now let us see the importance of mountain ranges and plateaus. The hills and mountains found on the ocean bed are called submerged hills. Submerged hills and mountains. These hills, here, these hills are hundreds of kilometers wide and thousands of kilometers long. So what are these mountains? It is the hills are hundreds of kilometers wide and thousands of kilometers long. Peaks of some of the submerged hills come above the sea level. See here, some of the mountain peaks, okay, are above the sea level. Then submerged hills come above the sea level. They are visible. Visible means what? Which we can see. They are visible to us as a marine island. Island, you know, I've told you what you mean by island, a part of the land which is surrounded by water. See, this is marine island. They are visible to us as marine island. Iceland in the Atlantic Ocean, Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal are examples. What are the examples of this? Iceland in Atlantic Ocean and Nicobar Islands. The summits now here. Let us come to the summit. Now what do you mean by summit? Summit means a top of a mountain. The summit of some marine islands are flat and extensive. They are called ocean or submarine plateaus. Submarine plateaus. For instance, Chicos Plateau in the Indian Ocean. Now, let us see what you mean by marine deeps and marine trenches. Here, you can see over here marine deep. Okay, marine deep and marine trenches. Marine means what? Something related to your water. We have got marine deep and marine trenches. Now here, on the ocean bed, there are some landforms which are deep. Okay, so this is under the water, which is deep, uh, which are deep, narrow, and steep. They are called marine deeps or trenches. Generally, the shallow ones are called marine deeps, while deeper one and extending for longer distance are called trenches. Now, see what you mean by marine deep and marine trenches. Now, let us see. See the shallower ones. Shallow means there is no much water. The shallow ones are called marine deeps, while deep ones and extending the longer distance are called trenches, and which are very deep inside the sea are called trenches. The trenches are thousands of meters deep from the sea level. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest trench in the world, and its depth is around 11,034 meters. The mid-ocean submerged hills and marine trenches are geologically the most active areas of ocean bed. So these are the most active areas of the ocean bed. These areas are also earthquake. Earthquake means what? Too much of earthquakes take place. That is called earthquake prone areas. Earthquake and volcanic eruption occur in the ocean bed, give rise to tsunamis in the nearby coastal areas. Now, what do you mean by tsunamis? Okay, a high volcanic eruption or earthquake takes place under the sea and it takes the form of a tsunami. Means too much sea waves. The water from the sea reaches to a height, to a maximum height, and all the sea water comes out, and many houses or buildings have been destroyed because of this tsunamis. Now we have got marine deposition. Now let us see what you mean by marine deposition. Nasir. The marine beds are the deep parts of the world in respective regions. Hence, various deposits are found in these parts. The deposits are as follows. Now, let us see what you find in deposit. Pebbles. Pebbles means what? Small stones are called as pebbles, clay, soil, etc. brought by rivers, glaciers, etc. from the continent. So all these pebbles, okay, clay, kind of mud or some soil which is brought by rivers or glaciers. The deposition occurs mainly in continental shelves, the way all this is deposited close to continental shelf. These are called marine deposits. So they are called as marine deposit. Now see in this figure. Okay, all these deposits are there, all these marine deposits. So what is marine deposit? Are insoluble material, rock and soil particles. So all is been deposited over here, and where it is deposited? Close to the continental shelf. Lava. Lava means what? Mm, the hot lava which has been thrown out of the earth. And ash erupting out of volcanic eruption is also found here. Fine soil particle. Fine means what? Very small. Sand particles are deposited on a large scale. Remains of marine plant and animals are mixed in this deposit. The mixture is made up of fine particle and lies in the form of fine clay. This is around 30% of the deposits. These are called marine oozes. They are called as marine oozes. To understand the form of marine life in the ocean and the availability of minerals on the ocean bed, these deposits, these deposits are these deposits are very important. Sedimentary rocks are formed due to the depositing of layers over layer of the sediments and the pressure of the sea water. Okay, students, I hope so. We have understood till here. In the next geography lecture, again I will continue from marine deposition. I will explain to you this marine deposition once again. Is that clear? So hope so students you have understood. In the next week, in the next geography lecture, we will see again from marine deposition. Thank you students.